Ever feel like you're drowning in information? You want to learn something important, but there's just so much out there, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely. I know that feeling.
Well, that's why we do these deep dives. Today, we're tackling a really crucial topic. It's about how to understand and support a family member dealing with PTSD,
Right. A heavy topic for sure.
but incredibly important for so many families. And to help us get a handle on this, we're going to look at a structured 10-day family program.
Cool.
Think of it as a step-by-step roadmap
I like that.
to better communication, less stress, and a more resilient home, even with PTSD in the picture.
Okay, yeah. A lot of families could use that guidance.
It's practical advice, not just theory. Real techniques to improve daily life.
Makes it so much more useful.
Dial down that stress that everyone feels. And really, most importantly, give you the tools to be the best support you can be. So in this deep dive, we're extracting the core principles from this program, the techniques that really make a difference. We want you to walk away understanding how to create that supportive environment, where everyone feels heard. So let's jump right in. Day one, what's the starting point?
Day one, you got to build a foundation. It all begins with a family meeting. But not just any casual chat.
Yeah, it's got to be intentional.
Exactly. Carve out the time, find a quiet space, no distractions. Everyone can really focus.
Like you're signaling this matters. This conversation is a priority.
Exactly. And the program lays out some goals for this meeting.
I'm curious, what are those?
Well, improving family communication is a big one, obviously reducing stress. And a key one, learning how to support each other better. You're setting the stage for open dialogue.
It's about building that trust right from the start.
Absolutely. And a really interesting piece of day one, it's about learning about PTSD together as a family.
Oh, I like that. So it's not just on the person with PTSD to explain everything.
Right. They suggest maybe watching a short video or reading an article, from trusted sources.
Yeah, like the VA or NAMI.
Exactly. The goal isn't for everyone to become an expert overnight.
Right.
It's more about gaining a basic understanding.
Yeah.
How PTSD can show up.
In emotions and behaviors.
Exactly. So you might see more irritability, maybe avoidance of certain situations.
That feeling of always being on edge,
Yeah.
hypervigilance.
Right. Having that shared understanding, it just builds empathy.
Huge. And then they introduce this family goal-setting exercise.
Oh, this is a good one. Each family member shares one goal for improving relationships within the family.
So what kind of goals are we talking about?
It could be anything. Being more patient, more understanding, maybe creating a space where it feels safe to share feelings.
Creating that safe space, so important.
And they emphasize writing these goals down, putting them somewhere visible.
Oh, I love that.
On a fridge, a bulletin board, whatever works.
It's a visual reminder. It makes it real.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like a mini family mission statement.
I love it. And to wrap up day one, they introduce this talk time routine.
Right. It's about scheduling consistent time for open discussions. About emotions, experiences, the stuff that matters.
Making it a regular thing.
Yeah, like every Sunday after dinner.
So it becomes a habit, part of the family culture.
Exactly. You're normalizing talking about feelings. Okay, moving on to day two. Now the focus shifts to the physical environment and setting boundaries.
Oh, interesting. So we're not just talking our feelings anymore.
Right. Day two is about creating a safe and supportive home, not just emotionally, but physically.
Makes sense.
So the first step, identifying those PTSD triggers.
Yeah, those things that can really set someone off.
And this takes open communication, ideally from the person with PTSD if they're comfortable sharing.
Letting the family know what those triggers are.
Could be loud noises, crowded spaces, maybe even certain smells.
Yeah, anything can be a trigger.
Right. And then the family talks about how to be mindful of these triggers at home.
How to minimize them, how to create that safer space. And
Right.
then they introduce this idea of a distress code word.
This is such a clever tool. It's a simple word.
Like what, for example?
They suggest storm or timeout, something neutral
Okay.
that the person with PTSD can use to signal they need a break.
Like, I'm overwhelmed, I need space.
Exactly. And the key here is everyone in the family agrees to respect that code word. Immediately. No questions asked.
No arguments, no pressure to explain, just space.
Exactly. It's crucial, especially when it's hard to explain what's happening in the moment.
Like a safety valve.
Right.
Hey.
Then day two goes on to talk about setting up a sanctuary space in the home.
Oh, interesting. Like a safe haven.
Exactly. A quiet, comfortable place where the person can go when they're feeling overwhelmed.
To decompress, to regulate.
They suggest having calming things in there, like a weighted blanket, a sound machine.
Maybe dim lighting.
Anything that creates a sense of peace and calm.
A place to escape to when things get too much.
And to wrap up day 2, it's all about setting clear family boundaries.
Okay, so we're getting into the nitty-gritty of how the family operates.
Right. These are like house rules, written down so everyone knows what to expect.
To minimize conflict, to create predictability.
Exactly. Things like knocking before entering someone's room.
Or maybe designating quiet time where there are no interruptions.
Those kinds of boundaries, they help create that stability and respect. Okay, day 3 dives into emotional awareness for the whole family.
So now we're getting into the feeling stuff.
Right. This day is all about creating an environment where everyone feels safe to express their emotions. And they start with this feeling jar exercise.
Okay, what's that?
It's simple but effective.
Hmm.
Each family member writes down how they're feeling that day, anonymously on a slip of paper, and they put it in a jar.
I see.
Later on, maybe in the evening, they read those feelings aloud, without saying who wrote them.
That anonymity, that's clever. It can be hard to share those vulnerable feelings sometimes.
Exactly. And then, when a tough emotion comes up, there's this key follow-up question. Would you like advice or just someone to listen?
Oh, that's so important.
It's about emotional validation, really tuning in to what the person needs in that moment.
Sometimes you just need someone to hear you, not fix you.
Exactly. And to help with expressing emotions, day 3 also suggests using a feelings chart.
What's that?
It's like a visual aid, a list or a wheel of different emotions.
Mad, sad, happy, grateful, all those feelings.
Exactly. Put it up on the fridge. It helps everyone, especially younger kids, find the words for how they're feeling. Honestly, it could be useful for adults too.
Yeah, sometimes I struggle to articulate exactly how I'm feeling. Okay, so we've got emotional awareness. What's next?
Day 4 builds on that by focusing on communication skills, active listening.
The bread and butter of healthy relationships.
And they introduce some really practical techniques. One of them is called echo and validate.
Oh, interesting. Tell me about that.
So it's a structured way to have a conversation. One person shares a concern. The listener repeats back what they heard in their own words.
Okay, to make sure they understand.
Exactly. That alone can prevent so many misunderstandings.
So many arguments.
Right. But then the crucial second step is validating the emotion.
Not just the words, but the feeling behind the words.
Exactly. So if someone says they're feeling overwhelmed with chores, you might say, it sounds like you're feeling really overwhelmed. Is that right? That sounds frustrating. I hear you.
It's showing that empathy, that you get it.
And day 4 tackles another common communication problem, those blaming you statements.
Oh yeah, those can be relationship killers.
Right. Instead, they encourage using I statements.
So instead of saying, you never listened to me, you say,
I feel unheard when my concerns aren't acknowledged.
right. It's a subtle shift, but it makes a huge difference.
It takes the blame out of it. It's about expressing your own experience.
And it's less likely to trigger defensiveness.
Exactly. They even recommend practicing rephrasing common family conflicts using I statements.
Great idea. It can be helpful to have those phrases ready to go when things get heated.
Okay, day 5. Now the focus expands to coping strategies. For the whole family, not just the person with PTSD.
So we're building resilience together.
Right. And they introduce the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique.
Okay, what's that?
It's a mindfulness exercise to anchor yourself in the present moment. When anxiety or distress hits,
Sounds helpful.
you focus on your 5 senses, 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear.
2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste.
Right. It helps bring you back to the here and now, and they suggest practicing it as a family when things are calm.
So you're ready to use it when things get tough.
Exactly. Then, day 5 has this calming strategies list.
Oh, like a toolbox of things that help you relax.
Exactly. Each family member identifies their top 3 self-soothing techniques.
What are some examples?
Listening to music, stretching, journaling.
Whatever works for you.
And you put this list somewhere visible, so everyone has those reminders at their fingertips.
I like that. It's proactive, not reactive. Okay, so what about day 6?
Day 6 is all about managing stress, anger, and conflict.
The inevitable bumps in the road of family life.
And they have a simple but effective exercise called Stop, Breathe, Respond.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Right. When things start to heat up, you stop. Take a few deep breaths. Then you respond thoughtfully, not reactively.
So it's about creating that pause, that space to calm down.
Exactly. They even suggest role-playing those heated family
Oh,
conversations
that's a great idea.
about curfews, chores, those classic triggers.
Practice makes perfect, or at least less chaotic.
Right. And to help with de-escalation, they introduce a cool-down signal.
Oh, like a timeout signal.
Exactly. A simple gesture or word to signal that you need a break from the conversation before it blows up.
It's like a safety net.
Right. It can really help diffuse tense situations. Okay, day 7 shifts the focus to strengthening family bonds and rebuilding trust.
Because relationships can take a hit when you're dealing with PTSD.
Absolutely. This day is all about
Mhm.
nurturing those positive connections. And they have this lovely exercise called the gratitude box.
Okay, tell me more about that.
It's all about appreciating each other. You write down something you appreciate about another family member,
Ah.
anonymously, and put it in a box.
I love that.
Then, maybe once a week, you read those notes aloud. It's such a simple act, but it can be so powerful.
It can really shift the energy in a family.
Day 7 also emphasizes the importance of family fun night.
Dedicated time for just enjoying each other's company.
Right. Playing games, watching movies, whatever everyone enjoys.
Taking a break from the seriousness of PTSD.
Exactly. It's a reminder that you're family first. Okay, day 8 is a reality check.
In what way?
It acknowledges that healing isn't always linear. There will be setbacks.
It's not a straight line to recovery.
Right. And they introduce this strategy called the reset button.
Oh, I like that.
If a conversation starts to go off the rails, anyone can say reset.
Like hitting pause.
Exactly. Everyone takes a breath, calms down, and then you restart the conversation.
A chance to do over.
And day 8 also emphasizes acknowledging challenges.
The fact that everyone has bad days.
Right. They suggest creating a space where each person can share a tough moment they had during the week.
Talk about how they coped.
It normalizes the ups and downs, and it's an opportunity to share coping strategies.
We're all in this together. Okay, what about day 9?
Day 9 is about the future, developing long-term coping strategies, and recognizing the importance of outside support.
So we're looking beyond the immediate family.
A key element of day 9 is having an emergency plan discussion.
Oh, interesting. Like what to do when things get really bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You identify the early warning signs of a PTSD episode, and as a family, you decide what each person will do.
To support the person who's struggling.
And to take care of themselves.
Right. Everyone needs a plan. And day 9 also encourages exploring support networks outside the family.
Looking into PTSD support groups.
Like the Wounded Warrior Project or VA services.
And considering whether professional therapy might be helpful.
For the individual or for the family as a whole.
Seeking outside support, that's a sign of strength.
It's not a weakness to ask for help. Okay, we're at day 10, the final day.
Day 10 is about celebrating progress and committing to ongoing growth. As a family,
Solidifying those positive changes.
they have this activity called family reflection. Each person shares one thing they learned during the 10 days.
And one practice or habit they want to continue to keep those good things going.
Exactly. And then, of course, you celebrate.
I have a party.
It's celebration night,
Yeah.
maybe a special meal, an outing, whatever feels good.
Acknowledge the effort, the commitment. You made it.
And the final step, creating a family commitment.
Okay, what's that?
The family identifies 3 specific habits they will prioritize moving forward.
To maintain that positive momentum.
Things like weekly check-in conversations, using that distress code word consistently, practicing those active listening skills.
Making those changes stick. So as we wrap up our deep dive into this 10-day program, what are the biggest takeaways for our listeners?
I think the program really highlights the power of communication. Open, honest communication.
That foundation of trust.
Creating that sense of safety, both physically and emotionally, at home.
Making it a haven.
And fostering emotional awareness for everyone in the family.
Not just the person with PTSD.
Right. It gives you tools for healthy conflict resolution. And it reminds you that it's okay to seek support outside the family. These principles, they're valuable for any family facing tough times.
So true. And for you, the listener, understanding these steps can be really empowering.
Yeah.
It takes this complex issue, PTSD, and breaks it down into manageable actions.
You don't have to feel helpless.
You have a roadmap, a plan. You can create positive change in your family.
And that can make a world of difference.
Absolutely. So I want you to think about this. What one small, consistent step could you take in your own relationships to build that understanding and support? Whether PTSD is a factor or not, think about intentional communication, empathy, creating those safe spaces for open dialogue. Even small changes repeated over time, they can have a huge impact.
They can ripple out and strengthen your family in ways you never imagined.
That's the power of connection.